All right, so 2011 may have already faded away, but it's still going to be remembered as one of the most exhilarating and controversial years of surfing in World Tour history.
Yep, for men's surfing, progression was the name of the game. Fans were treated to a wild new crop of young pros like Hawaiian John Florence, Australian Julian Wilson, and Brazilian Gabriel Medina, all hungry to make their mark.
And world champion Kelly Slater was tasked with the job of holding them off in his unrelenting pursuit of a record 11th ASP title.
The level of surfing this year on tour has been unbelievable.
It's been actually somewhat of a dream tour this year, and it's been exciting.
And the performance level was just through the roof at every event.
Yeah, everyone's sort of really stepping up to the plate, you know, and I think everyone realises that if they don't go mad, then, you know, they could be off.
It's so fun to watch this next generation of kids completely reinterpret what can happen on a wave.
There's just more guys surfing really good. That's going to put pressure on everybody.
The halfway point of the 2011 World Tour finally arrived, and with it, a first-time mid-season reshuffle of the top 34 ranked surfers.
What we're doing is allowing all those surfers that are trying to come up from the upper ranks, giving them an opportunity to get onto the World Tour, not just at the end of the year, at different points throughout the year.
I think it's a good thing. Otherwise, we have these kind of split tours. It makes sense to have one ranking. Pretty much every other sport in the world does.
You know, we had guys that were up and coming up quick, you know, coming up fast, and it took them longer to get onto the World Tour. We wanted to get those guys on quicker.
Whoa, jams it out of the lift with a little tail drift.
The kid has kind of set the world on fire a little bit since he's made the tour.
And guys that weren't performing, well, they had to drop back and you know, sharpen their tools and come back and get back on.
I like to say, and the ASP gonna find me, because I want to be a part of this dumb wannabe tennis tour.
Kelly at the knee seems just as hungry as ever for another world title. And
Kelly Slater has come out to play.
He's done what he's had to do. He missed J-Bay and he came back and won choke.
Kelly Slater has stolen everyone's mojo this week.
It was pretty crazy, man. Like, Owen just got in this groove where him and Kelly were like destined. You couldn't stop him, you know. They had 3 finals in a row, and I don't think that's ever been done.
It's been a pretty classic rivalry between Owen Wright and Kelly Slater.
All the talk about Kelly and the world title, there's a lot at stake in this event for a bunch of other guys in terms of their careers.
Kelly drops in straight on the anchors, little highline barrel. He's going to barge his way out.
Nice.
He takes it. An 11-time world champion. They realise they're witnessing something pretty special. We got the news. Kelly Slater was pretty active on Twitter. He said, I think the calculator at the ASP World Tour must be broken. I still have to win one more heat.
I'd like to apologize to the fans, and especially Kelly and Owen.
What's in front of Kelly is a massive draw in Miguel Pupo and Gabriel Medina. He needs to really put on a show to finally clinch his 11th world title.
They're both going to be world title threats, and to be the second oldest guy and to be against a couple of the youngest guys on tour in the heat I had to win my 11th in, I think there's something pretty fitting about that.
since I was a little kid, I was like, I want to be like him. I want to be like world champ.
Victory lap there for Kelly Slater. He's and he made it out of that thing? Of course he did. Kelly Slater, your 11th-time world champion, and here comes the credit.
He's just accomplished everything, you know, there is in our sport, and so I'd say he's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
It's a clear sign that surfing has come of age and matured as a competitive, constantly evolving world-class sport when there are more milestones, action, and controversy in 12 months than there's been in 12 years.
Here's Sal Mascala and surf analyst and former world #2 Brad Gerlach to run down the year in surf.
You know Kelly as well as anybody can, but you also know the perspective of what it takes to really dig in and compete over the course of the season. This year, Kelly got to be challenged consistently for the first time since Andy Irons in Owen Wright. He had 3 classic back-to-back battles with him, but he also had a lot of young guys who were bringing a full suitcase of consistency with progressive maneuvers in Miguel Pupo, Gabriel Medina. What do you think he had to do in order to stay engaged to really bring it and win this 11th world title?
I think that he has a combination of being gifted, obviously, but gifted in that way,
and he's very efficient, so he's not damaging his body while he's doing his sport. I think his mind and his creativity add to him being motivated to study the younger guys and figure out how to beat them, and then also how to learn some of the new moves. He needs a constant challenge for him to stay motivated doing the same thing he's been doing for 20 years. He's the best ever, and what I noticed this year is that he got better.
A lot of interesting controversy up there in San Francisco for Kelly Slater's 11th World Championship. Kelly ended up suffering from premature celebration. To me, it said about the ASP, wow, like you're supposed to be the governing body of this sport. And clearly there's some issues.
Oh, I just thought it was funny. I just was like, you know, oh man, I would not like to be Brody Carr or any of those guys over there. But, you know, all in all, people make mistakes, and when you get right down to it, it's just a show.
So right now, let's prognosticate 2012. Let's take a look at all those new guys. We saw some amazing surfers make their way to the top.
Gabriel Medina won 2 events.
I hear you.
17 years old.
Right. I don't see how he doesn't finish top 10.
I'm looking forward to watching Jordy Smith and Julian Wilson just rip the bag out of it. I think those guys are so entertaining to watch.
All right, one kid who really stepped his game up is Kolohe Andino. What kind of potential does he have?
He's a real competitor and really focused on competition, really into it, and so I think his biggest challenge will just be in confidence.
I'm looking forward to seeing Owen Wright's taste of consistency. I think that the rivalry that he had with Kelly probably benefits him more against some of those younger guys. It'll be interesting to see how he uses it.
And he's goofy footed.
And he's goofy footed, which makes me biased. Brad, you fired up for 2012?
Absolutely, Sal.
I'm fired up to sit in this seat again with you soon, buddy. Have a safe trip to Australia.
Thank you very much.
Night.
Radio.
All right.
Will do.
All right. Back to you guys.
So there is clearly a lot to look forward to this year, and just like 2011, there's always going to be some changes in the wind. Let's take a look at who's in and who's out on the 2012 World Tour.
Well, first, who's in? We thought we lost CJ Hobgood in the mid-year rotation, but he made his way back to the tour. Adam Melling and Travis Logie finally earned their spots, and Kai Otten gets saved with the Surfer wildcard. Yaden Nickel was out in 2011 after an injury, and will finally be making his World Tour debut in 2012.
And of course, I get stuck with the bad news. Thanks, guys. Surfers we won't be seeing on the 2012 World Tour include Dan Ross, Chris Davidson, and Hawaiian Freddie Patachia. Fans are really going to miss Dane Reynolds, who brought a reckless but always progressive approach to competitive surfing.
Don't worry, though. I didn't forget everybody's favorite rookie, Kolohe Andino. Imagine what it would be like. You're 17 years old, going head-to-head with the finest surfers on the planet. So we asked Kolohe himself how he's going to handle his inaugural ASP World Tour.
I'm not really scared like I'm gonna get hurt of any stop on tour, because when the waves are big, it's tough. I want to charge and get big barrels and stuff. I guess the challenge of surfing, you know, spots like Steamer Lane and Bells, those two are probably the two that I'm the most scared of. Playing the game, and you know, Steamer Lane can go flat for 30 minutes at a time, and then Bells just seems kind of like a difficult wave to read, and you know, you really got to like know how to surf it. Ever since I was, you know, 6, 7, it's always been my dream to be on the World Tour. And, you know, I've always wanted to be one of those guys that qualify like, you know, 16, 17, 18. But once I started getting closer to it, I was like, oh, you know, maybe 19 is like a good age for me to be on the tour. And then I ended up qualifying this year. So when I was younger, I kind of expected myself to be there. But then once I started getting closer, I was like, you know, I'll just wait till I was 19, even though I really wanted to be on the tour still. So I was pretty surprised, you know, that I made it. But then if I think back, you know, it's always been my goal to qualify now, so not really. Well, I think Medina, he's done, you know, way better than anyone around his age. Obviously, he won 2 events out of the first 4 or whatever. And you know, John's skills at pipe and were insane. So you know, it's cool. It's great because it pushes me a lot, and you know, I want to be pushed, so I'm stoked. No, I never. You know, Slater's records are like out of this world. If I won a world title, I'd be successful in my eyes. You know, obviously I'd want to win multiple and 4 and 5 or 3 or 2, but you know, I'm just trying to finish in the top 10 this year. You know, one, I want to show people that I'm not scared, and you know, I'm not insanely good because I haven't had that much experience in bigger waves, but I'm not scared of them, and I want to get big barrels. But that's one, and then another thing is I just want to, you know, train, work hard, and I want to go for it in my heats and, you know, show people what I can do.
All right, enough suspense. It's time to check out the 2012 Men's World Tour schedule. 2 city spots are lost as Quick Pro New York and Rip Curl Surge vanish from the schedule. The Santa Cruz Coldwater Classic gets an upgrade to World Tour status, while surfers and fans alike are stoked about the long-awaited return of Fiji as a stop for the Vulcan Pro.
I think we should do our next location shoot there.
You're genius, yes.
We're not done yet, so don't even think about moving, clicking, or napping, or touching that screen.
All right, because we've got all the latest in breaking news, plus Paul Zitzer gives us a take on the world of skate next on Inside Allisports.